Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Second City podcast. My name's Daniel Sketchley.
And I'm Callum Byrne.
Thank you so much for joining us again today. I do apologise. I can't really tell. I think my voice sounds a little bit croaky still. I can't really tell. But thank you so much for joining us anyway. We're here today to just have a little bit of a slightly quicker, maybe. Although I feel like whenever we say that, it ends up being like a really long episode, so who knows?
It's
But we're here to
usually the
have
way.
yeah, usually the way. Here to have a bit of a catch up about Blues and Villa for the last couple of weeks. Obviously, our last few episodes have been kind of more about the Blues documentary and stuff. So a bit more of our sort of classic format today, I think. A few weeks into the season now, so the ball's really got rolling. So it's very exciting times. Cal, how are you? Keeping well?
Very good. As you can see, everything's different here because I've now
New
moved
setup, yeah.
house. New setup.
Lovely,
This
yeah.
won't. This is. I don't think this is the plan for the permanent setup, but we'll see how it goes. It's definitely the temporary setup for the time being.
Yeah,
Um,
nice. And may as well try a few things out. Got plenty of rooms to
yeah,
to try
the
it.
the world is my oyster for a podcast studio in this flat. So
Yeah.
let's see if we can
And
make it work.
And who knows? I mean, I love this backdrop. I love what the set I can use here and stuff. But maybe seeing a new backdrop for me sometime soon as well. Who knows? But who knows? Um, but yeah, cool. Shall we? Are we doing what we're wearing this week? I think you might want to.
I mean, it makes sense for me. I don't
Yeah.
know if you want to.
Tell you what, should we get mine out of the way and then we'll spend a bit more time on yours? It's a bit more important. What do you think I'm wearing, Cal? I got a white Triple Eight Sport Adidas shirt on.
Yeah, I mean,
I have worn
Adidas.
it before, like years
Yeah,
ago,
we're.
two
I
years
mean,
ago.
I don't know what number this is. I know this is season three, but this is our
I
third
know.
season of the
Episode.
podcast.
I think this is episode 75. I think 75 or
So,
76. Yeah.
so we're gonna have some repeats with the shirts,
Mm.
but it's all good because 75 episodes you can bring them back and they're brand new.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
Adidas. So that's the late 2010s era. Especially with that Triple Eight sponsor, it could be the away kit to that one that's just behind you potentially.
Close.
It's the right era anyway. So I'm trying to think when you had a white away shirt, and we're gonna go for 16-17 away.
You're very close. That one behind me is 16-17 home. This is 17-18 away. Um, did we have a third kit this year?
See, this
I
was an
feel like
era of
we.
where third kits weren't really a thing. It was quite rare if you had a third kit
I think
in
we
this
wore the
era.
previous season's away shirt a lot, which was red. Which I've never got on the pod actually. I should get on at some point. But yeah, 17-18 away. This was the Redknapp Cottrell Monk season. Terrible season. I have no idea. I think we're bottom at Christmas with like 17 points of the championship. I have no idea how we stayed up. I guess Gary Monk had something to do with that at the end when he came in, and we did really pick up a lot. Um, and I had a real pickup under him, and the last day survival away at Fulham was really great. And so, sorry, at home to Fulham was really amazing. But yeah, we were really quite poor for a lot of this season. But it's kind of a point in my life. We would have been in our last year at uni, this 17-18 season. So I have a lot of nostalgia and fond memories, even though it's not that long ago, obviously. I have a lot of kind of, yeah, it's a point in my life I hold, in very high regard and have a lot of time for. But even if Blues were really crap. But I really like the kit. And I got the home one of this relatively recently. In fact, you bought it for me,
I
if you
did,
remember.
yeah.
So yeah, 17-18 away. Let's talk about yours. A bit more to talk about there.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention Gary Monk. I mean, he went from being like a pretty good championship manager to, I mean, after he left you, I don't think he ever had another championship job, did he?
He
Like he
didn't.
had the
No,
Leeds
he did.
job at
Sorry,
one point,
that was
and
before. He was at Leeds before. He was at Middlesbrough. Did he leave Leeds to go to Middlesbrough? And then he got sacked by. I think he got sacked by Middlesbrough. I think. Then he came to Blues, and then he went to Sheffield Wednesday not long after Blues, because there was that whole thing with
yes,
him
of
and Pep Clotet didn't get
course.
on. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
They wouldn't shake hands or something like that. They wouldn't shake hands or something petty. Uh, and then he was disappeared for years, and then he ended up at Cambridge, and he got sacked from there again relatively recently. So yeah, it's not quite working out for him. Um, but yeah, that's Blues. Should we talk about you? I know what kit it is, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably going to be the easiest ones that we ever have. But look at
Yeah,
it, Dan. Is there any
it's
point guessing the year? It's the new home shirt, but
it's
in
this year's
long
home shirt
sleeve.
in long sleeved. I've never owned a long sleeved blue shirt. I don't know if you've owned a long sleeved Villa shirt before either.
I have goalkeeper kits that are long sleeve, and
Sure.
I have the Ajax shirt that I bought in Amsterdam last year is long sleeve as well. But this is the first outfield Villa shirt that I have in long sleeve, and I mean, when we didn't have Adidas as a kit supplier, you'd see like the Man United kits, and like Marcus Rashford is a player that always comes to mind. Always wears long sleeve, especially in the winter, and the Adidas long sleeves always look so good. I think it's just the stripes running
Hey,
down.
100%. You read my mind. The new Liverpool one looks so clean with
Yeah,
the three stripes running all the way down. Lovely.
yeah. I think that the like base template that Adidas have got this year really lends itself to the long sleeve shirts. So yeah, I was umming and ahhing. It's the only minor annoyance and grievance I have with this shirt because I think it's an absolute beaut and it's a great. I think I said it when it was announced, maybe on week one of season three. It's kind of like evolution rather than revolution on the kit, and that's fine by me because last year's shirt was great, and so is this one. The big thing is the whole end. There's the whole end swirls on the short sleeve, but they're not on the long sleeve, and I don't know why. It's such a minor thing that would
No,
just.
yeah, I know what you mean
And
though.
I love this shirt. Don't get me wrong. I love this shirt. I'm glad I bought it, but it would just take that little bit higher up if it had the big thing that the kit is based around.
That's fair enough. Who knows? Could be a relegation kit as well at the current rate that we're going. So it might not be.
Well,
Have you got
well, I
the
mean, we haven't
Europa League
scored
patch?
yet. We haven't scored
Well,
yet. So,
exactly.
yep, Europa League patch. So, yeah, I've now got in the last 3 years a Conference League, a Europa League, and a Champions League shirt, all for Villa. That's pretty cool.
Fair
Um,
enough. My one regret with I think soon we should do a video on kits in particular, and I think maybe a tier ranking thing or something like that for Blues and Villa. But the so like my favorite kit manufacturer we've had is Adidas, and obviously this one I'm wearing now is an Adidas one. My only not regret that with their era is I think only once did we have a kit which had the stripes on the top of the shoulders, and I think that was that red away one I mentioned earlier. Otherwise, they're on. I mean, I won't stand up, but it's on under the
we can see it
shoulder,
on the one
sort of, if you know
behind
what I mean.
you. We can see
Ah,
it on the
yes,
one
you can.
behind
Yeah,
you.
for those watching on
Um,
YouTube, yeah, that's kind of what they did.
I'm
Still looks
surprised they
really
haven't done
clean.
that on
Really
one of
like
the
it.
kits though this year. Like in the last
Mm.
2 years, they've all been on the shoulder. I'm surprised they haven't done one where it's going down the side just to mix it up.
Yeah, I just always thought it looked really clean on the shoulder. But anyway, cool. So that is what we're wearing for this week. Shall we have a bit of a catch up then about Blues and Villa the last couple of weeks? Where do you want to start, Cal?
Shall we start with Villa just because we've done a lot of Blues stuff in the last
Yes.
couple of weeks. So let's do a bit of the Villa side. Not that there's a lot to shout about,
No.
really. So we're 2 weeks into the season. 1 point, no goals. Um, a bit of an underwhelming start, a bit of a slow start. Um, I think some people, and maybe myself included at some point, probably was hoping for 6 points out the opening two games. Um, Even though two quite difficult games. Newcastle's a tricky game whenever you play them, but you kind of always back us at Villa Park. But and especially when they had no Isak, but it was a pretty dull game. Not many chances, and a draw was probably a fair result in the end of it. And it felt like two teams that just did not want to lose on the opening day, get a point on the board against a tough opponent, move on to the next one. Brentford, I was quite coy on. Obviously, we didn't do predictions last week, but when the fixtures were announced and Brentford was the first away game, and obviously there's a lot of talk about Brentford, how many players they've sold, the manager's gone, the new manager is completely unproven. He might be great, he could be a great fit for Brentford, or he could be terrible. Nobody really knows. He's a complete unknown quantity. Um, and Brentford away's always been a difficult away ground to go to. Um, so I was not as confident as most people, which, okay, you haven't got my proof from last week to back it up, but it is, I was expecting a difficult game, which we kind of got. We lost 1-0. We were terrible. We never really created much, bar like a brief spell at the start of the second half. The game plan gets thrown out the window after 12 minutes when Dango Ouattara scores. It's an absolute defensive calamity. Ezri Konsa was suspended, and it's just a knock-on effect of your suspensions. They're costly. Okay, the red card didn't cost us against Newcastle, but it definitely cost us against Brentford. So it's just how it goes, really. I'm not stressing. I'm not too worried. I know there's been a lot of doom and gloom over on social media. Um, but it got me thinking, do you remember when Arteta's Arsenal, it was the first year where they really kicked on. Um, they lost the first three games of the season. Granted, they played like Chelsea, they played Brentford, Chelsea, and Manchester City. They lost all three. They let in something like almost 10 goals across the two games. It might be 9 goals or something, and they had suspensions and injuries. And okay, they didn't get in the top four, but they should have got in the top four at the end of the season. It's not the end of the world because I know everyone's looking at this weekend going, "Oh my God, we're playing Crystal Palace, Oliver Glasner's Crystal Palace. We never beat them. It's a complete bogey side." And there's kind of panic stations, and the transfer window's about to end, and there's been so much documented about spending restrictions that are imposed on us by UEFA because if we break them, they're going to kick us out of Europe for 3 seasons. So keep it calm. This team, this squad of players is a good squad of players. There'll probably be one or two additions before the window closes at the end of the week. And if not, I'm happy with this side. It's not been a great start to the season, but it's only game week 2.
No, yeah, I completely agree. I can imagine, obviously, Newcastle, you were at home, and I know you went, and I can imagine that being really underwhelming. Probably even a 1-1 would have been way more. You get that moment of like
Yeah,
adrenaline again.
I
It
think it's
must have
because
been
it's the
such a damp
half
squib.
12 kickoff, opening day of the season. It's the first time we've been at home in like 15 years on the opening day in the Premier League. I was so excited, really buzzing for the game, and it was just a bit of a damp squib at the end of it.
Yeah.
Although I did meet the Aston Villa owner, Nassif
Oh,
Sawiris, in the club shop after the game.
you were
Uh,
saying.
yeah, incredible. I was buying my shirt, wandering back through the store, and I just clocked him. I think there was a book of remembrance for Ozzy Osbourne in the entrance to the shop, and I was like, "That looks like Nassif. That looks like the owner." And lo and behold, it was the owner. So I got a selfie with the owner. Not very often, regardless of who your owner is, very rare that would happen. Probably easier
Yeah,
for you with Tom Wagner. He loves
yeah,
it.
he's around quite a lot.
He loves to be in the thick of it. But
How was he? Was he happy to chat and stuff, or
I didn't have a chat with him mostly because I think he was doing bits and
yeah?
pieces, and I don't know, because our owners tend to be quite understated. They don't like to be
Mm.
in the limelight. They don't do interviews. They're not real, or they don't do many interviews. They're not interested. Um, so I had my picture. I said thank you for everything he's done because him and Wes Agents have completely turned the club around from the Dr. Tony era.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
but yeah, just let him be on his way. Because I don't know if many other people in the shop at the time had either clocked on it. I guess some people don't want all of a sudden like 100 people swarming around. So
Yeah, sure. No, that's very nice. Add him to the long list of Villa alumni that you've met. There's
yeah.
plenty of them. But yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it sounds like you were poor against Brentford, but I think it was their first home game, obviously. Um,
It was must win for them. They had to get, or
yeah,
at the very least, a must not lose because they'd had a terrible opening week. Um, there's a lot of pressure on them. There's a lot of eyes on them. That Keith Andrews and the club in general, they needed to get a result just to ease some of the pressure and some of the laser focus uh, on their summer and things like that. So that and the fans would have been up for it. I know one of my mates is a Brentford fan, and I texted him on the morning, and there was a great GIF from Unai Emery in the Newcastle game where he's like doing. The Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and so I just sent that to him because I was nervous on the day, and
yeah,
he was,
sure.
and that they needed it, they really needed
Yeah,
it.
absolutely. Absolutely. No, I completely agree. A hard place to go for their first away game. Probably a bad time to play them. And they're still a good team. I know they've lost players, but they've done this for years and years. So no need to panic just yet. Um, what are we saying? Should we get onto some Villa housekeeping, or should we have a quick look at Blues?
We'll do the quick housekeeping because
Yeah, yeah, sure.
So Europa League patch is on here.
Yeah.
Um, the draw is on Friday for the Europa League.
Oh, okay.
So
For the
it's
for the
really
group.
for
Oh no, the league phase. Yeah,
the
sorry.
league phase. Yeah. So there's some juicy sides in there, and I think the last qualifiers for the Europa League are going to happen on Thursday, so probably day
Yeah,
of release. But what we can confirm is we don't know what pot Villa are in. We're either going to be in pot one or pot two, depending on how the qualifiers go. But we will definitely play two potential. It depends on how the pots go out, but we could play in pot one, Dynamo Zagreb, Feyenoord, Lille, Porto, Real Betis, or Roma. There'll probably be a couple of other teams to go into there, but we will probably play at least one of those. So
Nice.
some juicy ties. Leon are in pot two. Well, we all know the story there because that's where Crystal
Yeah, yeah.
Palace should have been. Nice are in pot three. And then of the pots still to be decided, we've got Bologna, who we had in the Champions League last year, Stuttgart, RB, Red Bull Salzburg. There's some tasty
Absolutely. There's some
ties
great
in
ties in
there.
there. Absolutely. Rome. Oh, did you say Fenerbahce? Did you say them in there as well?
I think
Feyenoord, you said, sorry.
Feyenoord. I think Fenerbahce
Feyenoord,
could
yeah.
end up potentially. Depends how qualifiers and things go. Celtic are obviously going to drop down, and Rangers will
Yes.
probably end up in there as well. So we could play Celtic 2 years on the trot.
Oh,
That'd be
that'd be pretty tasty. I think Roma or Zagreb or one of them away. Oh, that'd be
yeah.
pretty crazy. I it says about maybe where we're at the minute, but obviously we'll get onto it. Blues lost to Port Vale last night.
Yeah, because
I
we've got
kind of
the
just
Carabao
pretended it
Cup draw
was.
tonight
Oh, of
as
course, yeah.
well.
I pretended it was Borussia Dortmund at one point, the sort of the black and yellow. I was like, one day, one day. No, who you hoping for though? What's your dream draw?
Roma would be a good one. Home or away.
That'd be crazy. Yeah,
Porto away would be good. I'd try and go to that.
yeah.
Depending on how the away fixtures fall and that, maybe try and go to one if we can because it was
And is it
fun.
the
I did
same as the
Bruges.
Champions League? Is it the same as Champions League? We get four home, four away.
Yeah, it's only the Conference League where you play 6 games rather than eight,
Right.
and so we've got four home, four away. And the club have announced today, just like they did for the Conference League a couple of years ago, is they're going to do a package deal for all four home games in the group phase, and season ticket holders and members are going to get 20% off what the price was going to be before. So we've obviously got Chris Heck has gone over the summer. We've got a new person to come in. I've forgotten his name. I think he was at Juventus at one point, and the first thing he's tried to do is rebuild, and mend some bridges between the club and the fans. And this is a great first step because it never made sense to have done it for the Conference League and not for the Champions League. But obviously Chris Heck and co saw the dollar signs, especially when the draw
Yeah.
was made and they saw Bayern Munich at home and Juventus at home and Celtic at home. So, um, because that's what I did for the Conference League. I bought all three tickets at the same time, package deal, bit of a discount. Sweet, cool, let's go. Um, so I can foresee a really horrible day coming up where I'm going to have to buy 4 games worth of tickets all at the same time. So
Yeah.
that's going to be fun. Um,
Limit your spending that weekend, otherwise. Yeah.
yeah, so that will probably almost certainly be like next week, probably.
Mm.
Hopefully not the week after because I'm away and it's just a hassle buying tickets when you're on like hotel Wi-Fi and things
Oh,
like that. I mean,
sort of
you
learnt
see,
firsthand. Yeah, I've
yeah,
seen you
you
in
learned
that scenario.
firsthand, yeah,
Yes, yes, for the Champions League in a dusty Vegas hotel room was
yeah.
and we were quite ill in the moment as well because we'd had
Well, yeah, we both had a bit of
told you,
food
yeah,
poisoning at the time as
yeah,
well.
first breakfast. Yeah, it was anyway, that's a different story completely.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, cool. Should we move on to Blues?
Yes, you've had an interesting week, so we'll
Yeah,
talk. Yeah, I guess we'll talk about the cup second because you got dumped out of that last night.
yeah.
Who did you have at the weekend?
Well, we'll start. Should we just briefly mention? I think the last episode we'd already played Ipswich and Sheffield United in the cup. So obviously that weekend, then we haven't spoke about it. I'll touch on it very briefly. We had Blackburn away. Obviously, amazing 2-1 win. I say amazing because we were 1-0 down going into the 90th minute. Obviously, Stansfield scores a penalty, and then Big Lyndon Dykes pops up with an amazing counter-attack goal, it must be said, to give us the win in the 98th, 99th minute. Absolutely remarkable. By all accounts, didn't play all that well, but who cares? What that must have been carnage in front of that. Dykes scoring that in front of the away end.
It looked like
Um,
carnage.
it looked like carnage. I didn't get to go, unfortunately, but it must have been mental. And what a great, honestly, a great counter-attack. I think it was Laird who got fouled, but in the moment they just played on, Iwata plays a beautiful crossfield ball to Gray, who has like the fitness of a Premier League player, and he drives into the box, and then it's great movement by Dykes to get in front of his man and poke it past the keeper. It's a brilliant goal. And I saw someone else say this, but I completely agree. We got that counter attack because Blackburn actually had a corner which hit the first man, so we could counter attack. Honestly, if I was the Blackburn manager, whoever took that corner would never kick a ball again for me. I'd be like, how have you? blown that badly. I think if you're a professional footballer and you hit the first man from a corner more than once, you shouldn't be allowed
Josh
to be a
McEachran.
footballer. Josh McEachran, oh, don't get me started. But anyway, that was Blackburn. Terrific result. Really, really good. Our first away win back. Our first win back in the Championship. So really good. And then at the weekend, obviously, we had Oxford. Gary Rowett's Oxford at home. Won 1-0. Played well. Played pretty well. Deserved to win, but it was kind of hard work. Oxford, and this is I'm not criticising them at all here. I really like Gary Rowett, and I think he did pretty well with that Oxford team. Very hard. It was a lot, it was like a lot of our games from last season in League One, struggling to break teams down, very rigid. Not that it wasn't the most exciting. It won't be one you'll think back on too much in years to come. But we won 1-0 Pexongo with a goal in the first half. So to have 7 points from our first three league games is really encouraging. I'd say, yeah, that nothing's quite topped the Ipswich performance yet, and which ironically is the one league game we didn't win. But yeah, really, really good start. Oxford is a game, yeah, you should be winning, but then they're the ones we'd normally slip up in as a result. And the unbeaten home record just goes on. I don't think we've lost a league game at home since I think it was April 2024. So just in the league, obviously that is. So yeah, really, really encouraging. So then obviously we came right back down to earth on Tuesday night with the League Cup or Carabao Cup second round, whatever you want to call it, where we had Port Vale, and it was a month to the day since I went to Port Vale away in pre-season, and I know that was only pre-season, but we won 2-0, really comfortable, nice day out, easy. Month to the day, they come to Blues and beat us 1-0, and um, I heard someone on WM had WM on in the car on the way back, and they said it was the worst performance under Chris Davis by far. And yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's not loads to choose from, but yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really, really underwhelming. A credit to Port Vale. I thought they were really good. I thought they were really organised. Back three looked really solid. Every single ball they put in, every single corner they took, they should have scored. They were big, strong, physical team, hard to break down.
Did you
They had a
rotate
game plan.
much?
We really did, and as bad as the players were, and there were a lot, most of them were poor and did not do themselves any favours. I do think Davis got it badly wrong, and I've never said that on the podcast before. I don't. He made 10 changes. The only player that stayed was Neumann, who is also new himself. Like, let's not forget, he is new to this league. He's new to this country's football still. You make 10 changes. That's one thing. We played on normal formation, played 4-2-3-1. The three behind the striker were Kumas on the left, Lewis Kumas, who's 19, who's literally just came in from Liverpool last week. Behind who was up front? Dykes was up front. Behind Dykes was Marvin Duksh, I hope I'm saying that right. Who's obviously a new sign. And on the right we had Kenya Fujimoto. Them three, not only were they being rotated, they'd never kicked a ball for us before. Not all three of them had never making their debuts. They'd never come off the bench for us or anything. So no wonder it all felt really disjointed. I think Tommy
Disjointed,
Doyle,
yeah.
yeah, no, Tommy Doyle was playing deeper. Mark Leonard was captain for context, and I'm not against Mark Leonard being captain. I like Mark Leonard a lot, but he doesn't really get in the team much. There's been kind of some speculation about him leaving, and everyone was just off it. I think if I have to give any praise, I thought Beadle did himself no harm. Some of his kick-ins a bit off, but made a couple of good saves in the first half. Taylor Gardner Hickman always puts in a shift, and I appreciate that. At right back, really worked hard. But yeah, just a real lack of urgency and ideas. Duksh and Fujimoto came off at half time. I wonder if that was premeditated because it's a fitness thing. Um, but yeah, and Duksh, who it's hard to judge him obviously off just that half. I felt like he was almost playing like I remember my uncle said once when he saw Dugarry play at Blues, he said he found him. He almost thought Dugarry was almost too good for Blues because when he first started because he'd play a pass and like he played the pass to the right place where when he was playing with Zidane would be there. But when he was playing with like I don't know like Muzzy is it or whoever was there, I mean not Muzzy is it but someone like that, Stephen Clements. Like they weren't there. And Dux was a bit like that last night. I'm not saying Dux is as good as Christoph Dugarry because he's not obviously,
Mhm.
but you know my point. Like
Yeah.
he's playing passes where they should go probably, but our disjointed team is not there, and he's one who'll probably do better with the first choice 11, if you know what I mean.
It's a weird one though because you played quite a strong 11 against Sheffield United in the first
Agreed,
round of
yeah,
the cup. So it almost feels extremely counterproductive to make 10
absolutely,
changes in the second round. I know
absolutely.
you were the favourites to beat Port Vale, but still.
You can rotate the squad, but not. It was complacent. I thought it was arrogant. Really, I thought it was arrogant. It's a shame as well because it was a big for a League Cup second round game. There was 22,000 there. And cup games are really weird, I think, because you go and because obviously you have to pay extra and people end up in different seats. They can feel a bit weird. Feels like a bit like a parallel world or something. But last night we were in our normal seats. Everyone around us was in their normal seats. That crowd of 22,000. Last 10 years at Blues, I reckon for years our average league crowd size was smaller than that. So that's really good, I think. Get a big crowd in like that, good atmosphere. And yeah, we just didn't turn up at all. I thought Samstead got subbed off at half time. He didn't have a great half, but none of them did really. I thought it was maybe slightly unfair to like single him out. Um, yeah, because no one was really at it. I thought Cashin really struggled at centre back, really hesitant on the ball. But look, who knows? It was a bad night at the office for the team, but let's hope it's just that. Like we got a lot of the changes. I'm assuming were because we've got Leicester away on Friday night, so it's a very quick turnaround for a very big game. But then again, already got an international break after that, so I won't worry about it too much. It's not like you got to go again after that. You got like 15 days off after that. So look, one of them, it happens. Disappointing, but I then it got me thinking afterwards. Uh, since we won the League Cup, the Carling Cup as it was then in 2011. So how many years is that? It's 14 years ago. I was like, how many games in the League Cup have we actually won since? I was like, I bet it can't be. Like we seem to get knocked out this every year really early on. So I did my research, Cal. I went through it year by year. How many do you think? So bear in mind, 14 years.
14 years, so I mean, you haven't won in the opening round every year because you will have played in the opening round every year.
Sure,
I
but
would,
bear in mind you can win up to seven
yeah,
games
yeah,
every year.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And for context, in 2011, then we would have won the second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round, sixth round, seventh round. We would have won 6 games the year we won it.
Yeah, maybe uh, 8 to 10.
We've won 12. I thought it'd be 10. Won 12, which is awful. So Barnet away in 2000, Barnet at home in 2012, and then in 2013 we won three, which is mad. Plymouth, Yeovil, and Swansea.
Bumping the
Uh,
average up.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, 2014 we beat Cambridge. 2015-16 that season when sadly you knocked us out. We beat Bristol Rovers and Gillingham. Then 2017 we beat Crawley at home. 2021 we beat Colchester at home, and then 2 years ago we beat Cheltenham away. Last year we beat Charlton away, and this year we beat Sheffield United at home. So obviously, I said that very quick. So that means 2017-18 we won in the first round. Then 2018-19, 2019-20, and 2020-21 we got knocked out in the first round every year. Then the following year we won one game, which was against Colchester. Marcel Oakley scored. That's how just like that's how bizarre an anomaly that was. I don't even remember who he was. And then 22-23 we didn't win a game as well. So for 5 years there we won one game in the League Cup. That is That is awful. Take the cups a bit more seriously. You know what I mean? We got two good.
I agree.
We got a good squad now. We should know better than anyone how good the cup can be. Yes, it's really weird. And like you say, the draws tonight, as we're time recording. Like if Port Vale, I don't know if there's any seeding in, but say they draw like Everton away,
What if they
we'll be
draw
like,
us?
what if they draw you? That'd be crazy. Like Man United at home, Chelsea, Arsenal. Who knows? Yeah, weird. But look, bad night at the office. Leicester on Friday. So you wouldn't be shocked if we went there and won. That's
No,
how that's how it
they're
is.
they're in an interesting place. I mean, we might as well go straight onto your preview for that, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Quick turnaround. Yeah, Friday night, big game. I'm not really sure what to make of them. A bit of obviously all the stuff that's hanging over them, but no points deduction yet. And I think man for man, their squad's really good. They got that Cifuente, haven't they? Who was at QPR last season as a manager now.
Well, well, they don't need to sell for PSR anymore, so that means that they don't have to sell El Canoes because James Justin's now gone or going to Leeds. Um, yeah, a weird one. I saw a bit of their game against Charlton on it would have been Saturday. They won thanks to an
Mm.
absolute worldie, but I mean they weren't great, and they're in this weird state of flux. I don't think they're anyone's favourites to go back up, although it wouldn't be surprising if they went straight back up.
Oh,
But yeah, it does seem like there's a big disconnect between the off the field and the fans now, which is crazy to think. I mean, you go back 10 years and the ownership and the fans were so close, when they won the
yeah.
league. But the last few years, since the first relegation, um, the wheels have completely come off for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think a draw would be a great result. It's quite a hard start, really, with like them and Ipswich, and then we got Coventry in a couple of weeks. We got sorry, in about a month. Got Stoke very soon, who have obviously had a great start, won every game I think in the league so far. I think a 1-1 or a 2-2. I could see us being much better. I think last night was a real just off night. And maybe against a team that's a lot more expansive and will come out a bit more, will suit us better, which obviously Oxford and Port Vale weren't. So yeah, I'd say 1-1 if I had to put a number on it, which I am now. How about you? You got Crystal Palace this weekend, haven't you?
Yeah, annoyingly, it's arguably the worst kickoff time in the world. Sunday, 7 o'clock.
Oh no, what's all that about? Yeah.
Yeah, so it was meant to be Friday night, but it got moved because Crystal Palace are in the
Oh, of
Conference
course,
League
yeah.
qualifier, which
Mm.
when the TV picks were done, they were in the Europa League.
Of
So,
course, yeah.
because otherwise,
Yeah.
I guess we would have been the Monday Night Football otherwise.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, annoyingly, that fixture means the fixture change means as well. I can't watch the game and I can't go because I'm at Wembley for Coldplay. So
Okay. So you're missing the. I was gonna say you could do the F1 and the Villa game back to back, but no, you're at Coldplay, so.
no, I'll probably miss the F1 as well.
Oh, yeah.
Um, Yeah, I mean, as I said it earlier, they're a real bogey team for us, but it's almost become a must win already.
Oh, I wouldn't say
Um,
that.
it a good performance, and do not lose. We've unbeaten at home in a year in the league, and the only loss we've actually had since this point a year ago was in the cup to
Yeah.
Palace. So I think we'll be better. I think under the lights. I know it's Sunday night, but under the lights, fans will be up for it. We'll be surely Unai Emery will be desperate to get one over Oliver Glasner, given that we haven't beaten him since he took over at Crystal Palace yet. Um, but I think it'll be close. And like Ismaila Sarr always causes us problems. Mateta always causes us problems. Um, I know they've got no Eze, but they're still a pretty good side. And I think it'll be close. I think it'll be close. I will say 2-1 to put a number on it to us, even though we haven't really looked like scoring two goals all season. But we could do with just something to relax everybody. Even if it was a
Yeah.
crap 1-0 goes in off I don't know, Daniel Munoz's arse and goes in or something, just
Sure.
just something just to calm everyone down again. And we'll have had the
Fair
Europa
enough.
League draw by then, so everyone's going to be excited.
No, that's fair enough. Very quickly then, before our Zoom call expires. Um, Deadline day, 7 p.m. Monday night. Any hopes? Any expectations? Business. Been deadline day's not really. I feel like the transfer windows aren't what they were anymore, and that's kind of okay by me. But
No, and
any
this transfer window has
expectations?
been weird as well. I mean, a lot of teams,
Yeah,
some teams like your Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, they've done loads of business. They've done lots of big transfers. And then a lot of the mid-table clubs, Fulham haven't signed anyone. Crystal Palace have barely signed anyone. We haven't really signed anyone. There's been a lot of clubs that have done very, very little. And so I think you could see a bit of a fluttering in the last few days,
yeah,
as a few dominoes will fall and it'll unlock a few things here and there. I expect we will make surely at least one, if not two, loan signings. I don't think we're going to sign anyone permanently just because we're under such heavy restrictions from UEFA. But we sold a lot of players, and I think John McGinn's going to be given a new contract to bring his wage down as well, like Luca Dean and
right.
Tyrone Mings in the last few weeks. So we'll see. I think we'll bring at least one in. Maybe it'll be Asensio. I'd like Nicholas Jackson, but I don't know if it's going to quite happen.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, on the blue side, nothing really concrete. I'm told there's. Well, I think people seem to know there's nothing in the Mitrovic thing. I just think that would be amazing, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I wouldn't be shocked after the other night, especially if we go after another left back, maybe, and another striker. And I wonder though if it'll be a bit of like only if someone else leaves, maybe. Like say, like if Dykes was sold, they might get someone else in, or if they get someone else in, Dykes might go, or something like that. A few of them maybe. But no, nothing too concrete from that I'm aware of. But cool, Cal. We should probably wrap it up there anyway. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back very soon. Enjoy Coldplay, Cal, and until then, shit on the Villa and keep right on.
See you next week, Dan, and up the Villa.